Good morning everybody, and welcome to my review of the Veridian Cruise Control to suit the V-Strom 800. Currently riding a V-Strom 800 DE. This is a 2024 model. I've had it for about 3.5 months or so. It's got 5,000 Ks on the clock. Really like the bike. It could be a little bit more powerful. I do like the mid-range torque, but otherwise a great bike, and for the adventure riding that I'm going to be doing with it, it's going to be pretty perfect. I'm upgrading from a DR650, which is now a 790, and I found that a little bit too lightweight for the highway stuff, and just not really comfortable to do real distance on, and I'm just dialing back my ambitions as far as the off-road type work that I do. So I'm going to be sort of, instead of doing the tougher stuff, I'll just go for the bit more easier stuff. So anyway, I thought I'd lump for one of these things, and so far it's a good thing. And I'm just out for an early morning ride to get some coffee, and I wanted to do a review on this because I've had it on there for a couple of months now, the cruise control, and I like to, to save you another 10 or 15 minutes. This is an awesome bit of gear. I really do highly rate it. Particularly I use this bike quite a bit for riding to work, particularly while it's still new and I'm still in love with it. So it's great for making sure you maintain speed limits and things like that around town. So I use it heaps around town, and of course on the highway it's makes things a lot easier if you're trying to reduce your fatigue and also stay within speed limits. Yeah, very nice little bit of gear, very simple to fit. For those who are wondering, with the 800 DEs, there's a lot of talk about buffeting and stuff from the windscreens and things, and the standard screen, I do like that for around town and even a little bit of highway stuff, because it basically keeps my head out in the clear air so it doesn't get buffeted at all. The screen that I've got on this bike right now is an RE screen, so that's off of V-Strom 800 RE, and I thought that would help me for highway stuff, but actually even on its highest settings on the standard mounts, it just gets all buffety. It's really not very good. So I did find these whoop, that's a bit noisy. I did find these adapters on Amazon, I think it was, and they're like, they raise it up a couple of inches, so that extra 50mm height basically brings that buffeting just over to the peak of my helmet. I wear a peaked helmet on this bike, and it's almost great. It's quite livable, but what I thought, because I had one of these adjuster things, or these little plastic windscreen things sitting in the tool box, and I thought I'll give one of them a try. So I chucked that on yesterday, put all this screen stuff back on, and give it a test ride on the highway, and it was pretty good. So I think this is going to be my touring setup for when I do long distance, but basically for normal riding and everyday stuff, particularly when I do off-road stuff, I'll just stay with the stock screen. So now that's out of the way, and I thought I'd mention that because I'm sure a lot of people will ask what I'm doing there, because it's a bit of a subject of a lot of discussion on the forums. Speeding a little bit there, I'll slow down. Anyway, with the cruise control, it's very simple to fit. The advantage I had when I fitted this was basically, because you've got on the DE model, you need to remove all the fairing stuff from the front. You start from the beak, and you work your way back and finish with removing the tank and the seat. And the tank, a lot of people are a little bit nervous about removing those, but to be honest, it's not difficult. You just need to use your brains and be careful. It's like a three-handed job, so if you've got someone to help you, that's great. I've done it a couple of times myself, but I've done a few fuel tanks in my time, so I wasn't too scared of it. Anyway, it's a matter of the fitting itself. It's almost plug and play. There's only one wire, and if you're like me, you probably watched a few videos and reviews and all that sort of stuff around these things, and basically there's some plugs that you disconnect under the tank. You plug that in there. There's one wire that you splice into a wiring harness, and then you just run a plug up to the diagnostic plug up the back, plug that in, and away it goes. Now it works really well. It's, like I say, very simple to fit, and you just reassemble everything. I did the whole job in 90 minutes. That's removing all the bodywork, fitting it up, spending quite a bit of time just making sure I had the cables and everything routed the right way that I was happy with, and then it was just making sure it was all good, and it's super easy to fit, and it worked perfectly straight away. So with this, so you can see I'm on the cruise control right now. It's just happily sitting at 99. I'll just give it a tap. That'll speed it up to probably 102. It adds about 3 kilometers an hour. And to cancel it, you can touch the brake, you can use the cancel button, which I'll do now, and there you go. That sort of drops it back down to well, switches it off, so then you can just ride it as normal. One of the other reasons I wanted to do this review was I bought this with my own money. This is not sponsored in any way. I used a discount code from one of the YouTubers who've done a review of this particular system, which is on the back wheel, and he's an Australian guy, had a V-Strom 800, did a review on it. He messed up his removing his fuel tank and actually did some damage to it, so there's a lesson there. But if you look at find his video, you'll find he's got a discount code that you can use and you get some money off it. This thing cost me about, I think, landed from Canada, landed in my place, and it took less than a week to get here, mind you, including freight and everything was like 450 Australian dollars, so pretty reasonable price, I think. And for the amount that I use it, I think it's great value, because it's not something I just sort of fitted and then thought, I use it once or twice every now and then sort of thing. But this I use pretty much every time I ride the bike, so it's great. Anyway, as far as operation of the cruise control goes, there's a few different ways to operate it. You can see it's got 3 buttons here. So the lower button is the set button, and also that's the decelerate button. The top button is this button to increase the speed, and the middle button is the one to cancel it. Now there's a few different ways to cancel it. To cancel the cruise control, basically you can touch either of the brakes, and that's what that wire is that you connect under the dash, under the tank. That actually is what reads the brake signal. So one of the things with this system is that you need to have actually operated the brake at least one time before it'll actually use the system. And I got caught out by this a couple of times when I first fitted it, because I can ride out of my driveway around one corner, around another corner, and then be riding down the road, and then I press the button, I'm thinking, oh, why isn't this worked? And that's because I hadn't actually needed to use the brakes, because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of the things you need to do. Once you use the brake, it pretty much operates flawlessly. And you can see I'm climbing up. It's only a slight hill, but the bike is maintaining speed easily, and this thing will wind it open to, I'm pretty sure, to full throttle if it needs to. So that's something to be aware of if you happen to cancel the cruise and then the bike slows right down, and you might be doing like 3,000 RPM or something, and then you hit the resume button again, which is this top one. If you hit the resume button again, it'll start winding the throttle on and winding it open, and if you're at low revs, it's not really that great for the bike. So in that instance, you're better off dropping down a gear and then speeding back up and then resetting it. But certainly speeding up and slowing down is a piece of cake on this thing. Like I say, to cancel, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can use the brakes, but just by touching the brake it'll cancel it. By touching the cancel button it'll cancel it. But my favourite way of doing it, and because I'm all about, like most everybody, you're always looking for to be able to be the smoothest rider you can, and because this thing's got such a lot of engine braking, just by hitting the cancel button, it's like, so it just chops the throttle. It doesn't sort of wind it off or anything. So I've hit the resume button. It's sped up a bit. It'll drop back down to where we were, which is about 70, 71 or whatever it was. But the best way to cancel it, in my opinion, is just by using the throttle. And that's because whatever the throttle setting is at by the computer, if you wind it open more than 5% over what that was, it'll cancel it that way. So for me, I'm just riding along. If I want to cancel it, and I do this all the time, you just wind it up just till it accelerates a tiny bit, and that's it, it's cancelled, and you just roll off like normal. So I find that by far the smoothest way to operate this thing. Absolutely touch the brake, no problem, or hit the cancel button, no problem, but it sort of chops it, that's all. And because, like I say, with the engine brake and these things it got, it sort of just like, you know, it slows you down pretty quick. So I just find, because I'm looking to be the smoothest rider I possibly can, is when I want to cancel it, all I do is I'll just wind the throttle open a tiny bit and away you go. Where that can be a little bit disconcerting is if you've got the cruise control, let's say you're doing 120, and so where it is this here, like I'm moving that a little bit and it's not going anywhere near operating the throttle, because the throttle blade's already been operated by the cruise control. So if you're doing 120, what's happening is like a third of your throttle is being operated by the computer, and when you go to wind it on, you start winding on, think, oh, what's going on? Because it's not actually doing anything, because it's your cruise control has got the throttle open already. So that sort of takes a little bit of mental adjustment to get used to. Whoop, I'm in fifth gear, let's not do that. There we go, fifth. So 83, that's good enough. 82, we'll just hit the button and then it'll just maintain that speed quite happily. And as we're going up a slight hill, it'll open the throttle, and like I say, if you the steeper the hill, it'll just open up the throttle more and it'll slow down. It's just, you know, like it's obviously managing the speed like your car, and it's really smooth when you're and now it's rolling off the throttle as I go down the hill. So it'll keep winding it off and winding off until it's like basically zero throttle. But yeah, it works good. And the other thing I would mention is that when you want to increase speed, just a light tap of the button, whoop, and it'll just climb up about another 3 kilometers an hour. Another tap of the button, whoop, and it'll climb up another 3 kilometers an hour. Pretty gentle, operates the throttle pretty gentle, same as when it slow down. One tap down, another tap down, there you go, back down to, where are we, 81. So where you will notice the throttle blade's opening is if you tap it like more than twice, and if you tap it 3 or 4 times, it'll wind it right open. So watch this, here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear that, she's wound her up, and then it'll just find its speed. It'll go over whatever that target speed is, and then it'll just sort of drop down a little bit now. So I better slow down because I'm actually over the speed limit here. There we go, 77. Let's click it one more time and it'll be back up to 81, 82, and it'll just keep us there, no trouble at all. So as I mentioned, when you're if you're shutting the cruise control off and your speed sort of drops like 10 kilometers an hour or more, here we go, you can feel it opening up the throttle going up this hill, still maintaining speed, and basically it'll do that as long as the bike can do it, because it'll open the throttle all the way open to maintain that speed. And give it a couple of taps. There you go, she's opening up. Watch out, birds. And we'll drop down again. So anyway, that's it. I really like this system. As I mentioned, I paid for this with my own money. So most of the guys that I see that do these reviews on this Veridian Cruise, they're being sponsored. So these are YouTubers. They contact Veridian, they say, hey, give me one of your systems, I'll do a review on it, and they've all been positive reviews, and I can understand why, and I 100% agree with them. However, when you're given something for free, you know, there is potentially some, you know, maybe you feel like you shouldn't provide any negative feedback on this system, so then maybe you're not getting a fully unbiased review. In this case, all the reviews I've seen where the people are talking positive about the system, it's great. It is easy to fit. You do need to work out how to remove the bodywork. I actually removed this bodywork once before to fit this Aochi C9 Pro Bizzo thing, and it worked out. It was really easy to do. So once you know how to do it, it's easy. So that's why it only took me like 90 minutes to do that. And if I had to rush through installing all the rest of the crap, if I hadn't have spent so much time trying to tidy up the wiring and all the rest of it, it would have been even less time. So here we go. Whoop, I'll slow down a bit. It's a 90k zone, so we'll do 93. There you go, top gear. it'll just maintain that speed quite happily. I can press the button, it'll increase just a tiny bit, and if I give it a couple of taps, there we go, she's away. And like I say, you look at my throttle hand here, while it's set at 115, I can move it a fair bit without it actually killing the cruise control, and it's sort of, like I say, it's a little bit weird when you first start doing it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. This is a one-shot piece video, so however long that's been, 10 minutes, I don't know, 15. I hope this gives you some good feedback on this system. I 100% recommend it. Like I say, completely unbiased. This is me, bought it with my own money out of wristies and bottle caps, and I really do love it. I rate it. And cruise control on motorbikes is the first time I've ever had one, and because pretty much all my stuff is a bit older, and all high performance stuff, which is, you know, the old Hayabusa and GSX-Rs and stuff like that, plus my old DR, which is, you know, about as analog as it gets. So I hope you enjoy this review. The good thing is that I won't have to do any editing, because I'm just going to stick this up as one whole post. This screen setup works pretty good, so if that's of interest to you, I hope you appreciate that as well. I thought that one might be of use. And the other thing I'll do is I'll also do a review on this C9 thing, and this is another thing that I bought with my own money, not sponsored at all. This is actually pretty good. It's got some limitations, but you know, for 300 bucks or whatever it is, you can't really go wrong. So I do like that as well. I normally use it for Google Maps. The only complaint I do have about that is you can't like switch the screen off. You can't put it to sleep. So and it's not self-dimming. So if you're riding along at night, you have to basically turn the thing down. Otherwise, it's pretty bright and everybody can see what you're looking at. So anyway, have a great day. I'm on my way to get a coffee, and I'm going to definitely enjoy that. It's a bit of a chilly morning. West Australia here, it's 12 degrees. So where you are, maybe that's not cold, but from where I'm from, it's getting pretty cool, but you know, not bad enough to need to rug up too much with winter gear. And I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and then I'm going to head home, and I'm going to spend some time in the shed working on one of my bikes, and enjoy the rest of my weekend. So hope you do too. And if you do like this video, give it a like, because you know, I've spent a good solid 1 or 2 minutes editing the video and posting it, so you know, it's got to be worth something. So have a great day, look after yourself, and ride safe.